My name's Jordan Prosser. I'm a Melbourne-based filmmaker and writer and performer. My background is in script work and writing, directing for film and television.
I'm David Finnegan. I'm a playwright and theatre maker, and I work a lot with scientists, climate and systems scientists.
We recently presented the premiere of CrimeForce LoveTeam at Nesta's Future Fest in July 2018 in London.
The detectives flank the door, weapons at the ready, and Prosser kicks the door down. Freeze! CrimeForce!
CrimeForce LoveTeam is two things. It is a performance lecture about the scenaric stance within the realm of future studies, the idea of building future scenarios. So it's exploring that practice and possibly introducing new audiences to this concept and this method of work. It is also a choose-your-own-adventure, interactive, futuristic sci-fi cop drama about two hard-bitten detectives on the trail of a killer in the year 2050. And it is up to the audience to make decisions for us during the show to lead us to a future in which that killer is caught.
One of the main tools of futures practice is to create future scenarios, so multiple different versions of how the future might look. And so our show is really an illustration of that practice.
So when we first started talking to David and Jordan about what they were doing with CrimeForce, it was immediately interesting for us because we're interested in how you take a method, say like future scenarios, which often are quite dry, abstract from people's lives, maybe even a bit confusing in terms of how they're constructed. How you take that and make that really open-ended, engaging, fun and interactive, and that's what CrimeForce did.
So at certain points throughout the show, we pause the narrative and we give the audience a choice. We ask them to make some decisions about the world today in 2018. And then we watch the repercussions of their decision echo across the future right up to 2050. And we see how it affects the future, quite literally.
So it's up to the audience to make decisions in the here and now that will result in us getting to a world in 2050 where the detectives catch that killer. When we first started talking with Nesta about this, we presented CrimeForce LoveTeam as a framework, which is how we've always conceived of it. So it's not a complete show. It's something that has a shape, it has a narrative, it has a form into which you can drop different content depending on what you're interested in.
What was great for us in 2018 at Future Fest was it used the scenaric viewpoint, the scenaric method to explore lots of topics that we were discussing at Future Fest anyway. So big data, for example, and personal freedom and liberty, or even culture and how culture's changing and music is changing and how technology might intersect with all of that.
Ideally, I would like for CrimeForce LoveTeam to function as just a really prime example of good science communication, something that takes really big, potentially flighty scientific and theoretical ideas and grounds them in a way that is really, really entertaining and really palatable, and in a way that is easily understood by audiences everywhere.
I hope that it will have life beyond Future Fest. It should do, and I think there's lots of ways it could be adapted to different social questions and futures that we might want to look at.
CrimeForce LoveTeam is the participatory introduction to the scenaric viewpoint through the frame of a police procedural about a murdered boy band member in 2050 that happens in 4 different futures that you didn't know you needed, but you really did.